Hello and welcome. I'm Saeed from StoryPlanet.net. Dive right into the essence of the most captivating books without reading them cover to cover. Whether you're on the go, at the gym, or just relaxing at home, we offer you a unique and enriching listening experience. Today, we are exploring the book, The Man Without a Face, a creation by Masha Gessen. The Man Without a Face is a biography of Russian President Vladimir Putin that illuminates one of contemporary history's mysterious political figures. The book traces Putin's unexpected path to becoming Russia's leader, beginning from his humble beginnings in the State Security Agency. His vengeful nature, insatiable ambition, and disregard for democratic principles are shaping Russia's direction to this day. Before we delve into these revelations, it's interesting to note that Masha Gessen is a journalist and activist of Russian-American descent. With 10K idas to unveil, brace yourself for a deep dive into this captivating book. On StoryPlanet.net. To start, the text discusses how Vladimir Putin consolidated power in Russia through devious tactics. Vladimir Putin initially started as an anonymous bureaucrat in Russia's spy network, eventually becoming president despite not being well known in political circles. He is now widely feared globally for his autocratic practices, silencing dissent, and reported corruption. The text explores his rise to power, possible utilization of terrorist attacks for personal gain, and his reputation for kleptomania. Key idea number 1. Young Vladimir Putin was a fiery and determined individual who aspired to become a spy. Vladimir Putin's early life was shaped by the post-World War II desolation in Leningrad, where his family struggled. Living in cramped conditions, he displayed aggressive tendencies and practiced martial arts. His father's ties to the secret police influenced their living standards. Putin's interest in espionage led him to apply to the KGB at a young age, but he was directed to pursue a college degree first. Key idea number 2. Putin found his KGB job boring, but he witnessed the fall of the Berlin Wall. Putin graduated from Leningrad University in 1975 and joined the KGB. He mainly did clerical work in East Germany, not espionage. During the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989, he burned documents to protect the KGB's interests. Feeling abandoned by the Soviet Union, he returned to Leningrad with his wife. Key idea number 3. Putin carefully watched the collapse of the Soviet Union to determine the emerging power. Upon returning to Russia, Putin witnessed rapid and profound changes, including a coup attempt against Gorbachev orchestrated by the KGB and government hardliners. Gorbachev's reforms under Glasnost allowed for more openness and democracy, leading to the election of pro-democracy politicians like Anatoly Sobchak. Despite his KGB background, Putin distanced himself from the agency during the coup, aligning with Sobchak and playing both sides for personal protection. Eventually, they emerged from hiding in a bunker when the coup failed after 2 days of political turmoil. Key idea number 4. During the turbulent 1990s in Russia, regular citizens endured hardships while Putin and his associates accumulated significant wealth. After a failed coup in Russia, Putin and Sobchak took advantage of chaos to benefit themselves financially. Putin negotiated an uneven deal with a German company, leading to a kickback of $34 million. Sobchak dissolved the St. Petersburg Council, mismanaged city affairs, and faced corruption charges. Putin helped Sobchak escape to Paris, then rose in ranks, becoming head of the FSB in 1998. He intervened to drop Sobchak's charges in 1999. Sobchak's conflicting story led to suspicions, and after meeting Putin in 2000, he passed away in Kaliningrad under suspicious circumstances. Key idea number 5. Yeltsin saw Putin as a loyal, energetic leader and designated him as his successor. After the fall of communism in Russia, President Yeltsin faced challenges, including economic turmoil and political opposition. Yeltsin, backed by a small political clique known as the Family, selected Putin as his successor due to perceptions of compliance and safety. Oligarch Boris Berezovsky played a key role in Putin's rise by influencing Yeltsin and shaping Putin's image. Yeltsin unexpectedly resigned on the last day of the 20th century, appointing Putin as acting president despite his lack of political experience. Putin's ascent to power and subsequent impact on Russian politics, constitution, and society was questioned and awaited with uncertainty by both the Russian populace and international observers. Key idea number 6. Chechen terrorism threat empowered Putin and increased his authority. Terrorist bombings in Russia, starting in 1999, sparked suspicions of FSB involvement to justify a Chechen war. The crisis escalated with the 2002 Moscow theater hostage situation and the 2004 Beslan school siege, revealing extreme tactics used by federal forces. Putin capitalized on these events to consolidate power through centralized appointments and legislative changes. Key idea number 7. Putin has created an environment of fear to silence opposition, but some whistleblowers have dared to challenge him. Putin's policies instilled fear and led to reprisals against those who opposed him. Entrepreneur Vladimir Gusinsky's media empire was targeted after he aired critical content. Other figures like Berezovsky also faced consequences for criticizing Putin. Investigations into events like the Moscow theater siege revealed alarming details, with individuals involved meeting untimely ends, suggesting a pattern of suppression of dissent and critical voices. Key idea number 8. Putin's allies dominate Russia's wealth, while his adversaries often end up imprisoned. Putin, once seen as incorruptible, has amassed an estimated $40 billion through corruption and shady dealings, including taking cuts from donations and engaging in public theft. Those who criticize Putin risk losing everything, as seen with Mikhail Khodorkovsky, an oligarch turned philanthropist who was imprisoned after questioning Putin's actions. Putin later auctioned off Khodorkovsky's oil company to an ally. Key idea number 9. Opponents of Putin were silenced or removed to prevent resistance. In the 1990s, Russia had quasi-democratic tendencies. Putin came to power in 2000, reduced media freedom and consolidated control over the government. He won multiple elections, extended presidential term limits, and controlled the political landscape by suppressing opposition and independent voices. Putin's administration was criticized for high levels of corruption and oppressive measures targeting dissenters, such as imprisoning activists like Garry Kasparov and the members of Pussy Riot. The government also introduced restrictive laws against NGOs and expanded espionage regulations. Key idea number 10. Some who have looked past Putin's public image see him as narcissistic and lacking empathy. Putin often projects an image of strength by participating in staged events like wildlife encounters and diving stunts. His communication skills and empathy have been criticized. Following a submarine disaster in 2000, Putin delayed seeking help, and when interviewed about it, he provided a curt response. In conclusion, key message. Vladimir Putin is described as an ultranationalist striving to maintain Russia's superpower status through influence. He is characterized as vengeful, greedy, and self-absorbed. Actionable advice. Seek news from multiple independent sources to avoid biased narratives. Further reading. The Prince by Niccolò Machiavelli, a guide on autocratic leadership and the use of deceit for power. Thank you for listening to this summary. If you enjoyed this exploration, we invite you to discover other fascinating books on storyplanet.net. Don't wait any longer. A multitude of books, stories, and knowledge await you there. See you soon on storyplanet.net.